Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Salam.
Agak boleh doktor.
Okay. We couldn't wait anymore. Okay. Referring to our participants today, we only have 23 attend today class. Yang tak ada tu dah raya lah tu. Okay, but today is important, right? So we have one chapter to be covered for today. Okay, referring to your SOW. Today should be our next chapter, which is chapter 3, user requirement. Alright. Since tomorrow is public holiday, right? So you don't have a class. So we do 1 hour sessions for lecture and another 1 hour sessions for lab, which is to discuss your project. Alright. Okay. So I don't have video sharing from your friends today, okay? Because the format given to me is not the correct video sharing. So I will skip the video and then I will continue with our lecture directly. So after my lecture only, you will do a quiz, okay? A quiz. Because normally what we do is we watch the video sharing first and then you do a quiz and then my explanations on the topic, okay, and you also have a level of understanding, right? Okay, but today we directly skip the video and we start the lecture, right? Let me share my screen. So are you ready with our topic 3? Okay, user requirements. Don't worry because this topic is not so heavy. Okay, it's kind of easy to be understand. Okay, easy to be understand, and I believe that you can understand easily. So it's not too heavy lah, right? Okay. Topic 3, user requirement. So when we want to develop something, or we want to design something, we should involve users, right? From the beginning until the end. So requirement here means that what the users need, okay, for our development or design, because we design or we develop for human users, us, right? So before we start our project, right? So we should do requirement and gathering process first, okay? Because I believe that you have learned, I'm not sure that, are you learn topic of system development life cycle? Have you? Yes, right. Okay. So process design is kind of like that. When you want to start a project, research, you should have a method or process, right? So same goes with SDLC, but SDLC is purposely for development. This one is process of design, okay? Because our course is about human-computer interactions. So if you can see here, it's kind of similar with SDLC. You have the requirements, okay? Analysis, design, implement, and deploy. Where I believe that in your SDLC, first you have a planning, and then followed by analysis, and then you have design development, implementations, and maintenance, right? So kind of similar, right? So this is the first step that we need to do, find requirement. Okay, whose requirement? Of course, our stakeholder, our users, all right? So this is this is a process that you want to dig out the needs, okay, from the users, either using the interview, ethnography, okay? So let's look into what is the current practice versus what is wanted, needed. And then based on the requirement, Okay, actually we can come up with the scenario or task analysis. Okay, and this is analysis part. Okay, before we start design. Okay, and our design should be followed some of guidelines, principles, framework, models. Okay, because we are not simply design. Okay, we are not simply design, but our design should follow something, right? Like in Islam, right? We followed sunnah al-wajan ahli sunnah Al-Quran, right? Something that we have uh, a guideline lah kan, panduan macam tu kan. So design also ahli sunnah wal jamaah, right? Let me see, someone has response in text. Okay, ahli sunnah wal jamaah. I lost the word sometimes. Okay, wait. Right. Okay. So same goes with design or development, right? Development, you have a method where you propose a prototype method, RAD, waterfall, agile, and so on. Okay, so design also have their own guideline principles, framework, and so on. Okay, after we design also come with height definitions, height fidelity and low fidelity. Low fidelity can be using a paper sketch, can be using a card, okay. But for high fidelity, okay, that one for low fidelity. High fidelity is using computer based, okay, where you use a software like Figma, Adobe, and so on. Okay, so after you have the design, then only you develop the prototype. Okay, so for your project, you will have until the prototype of the proposed system or project that you will do lah. Okay, so to confirm or to validate, okay, our prototype, okay, we will have evaluations, the one that used in actually only heuristic. We have a lot of evaluation. So this is just give you one of the method of evaluation. Okay, right? And dialogue notations is the communications tool. Okay, if the analysis have need after you provide your prototype, you get a feedback. Okay, so if needed to improve, do analysis again. So it will goes back to and finally it until users. Okay, and if confirmed, then only you can implement and deploy. Okay, so here you already have the precise specification. Okay, and then only you start your real development. Okay, which is included the architecture and the report part, the documentations. Okay, help is needed. Okay, normally when we deliver a project, a system, we need to have a help, okay? some kind of the manual of how to use the system. Okay, this is to deliver to our stakeholder or users. Okay, so what we need for requirement? Okay, so first, of course, we need to understand or know your users first. Who are your users? Who are they? Individual, a group of users? Okay. Probably not like you, okay, because maybe your focus users is a group of disability needs, yeah? The special needs one, which is have some of disabilities. Or maybe you develop with different age group, okay, for children, for elderly, okay. Or maybe also it's not it's not like you example that maybe for international market. So probably not like you, right? Not like you, okay? Because we know that everyone have a different sections, behavior. Okay? Talk to them, okay? Tak kenal maka tak cinta, right? So you need to know them, understand them. Okay? To understand them, yes, you can do a research about them, what kind of our users. But the good thing is talk to them, ask them what they need, right? And also you can watch them, observe them. Okay? And finally, use your imaginations. Okay, but for me, I don't like this last part. Use your imaginations, because research is based on a fact. Okay, so that's why we need to have a principles, a guideline to be followed. So maybe the word referring use your imagination is you try to relate, okay, the users that you already know them, understand them, relate with your future development or design later on. Okay. So for us to do the requirement, okay, there is a few method in requirement gathering. Okay. First, observations, ethnography, interview, focus group, questionnaire, and of course, you need to have a participant analysis. Okay. But after this, okay, we will go through one by one how we will use this method. So later on in your project, you need to choose one of these. You can choose one, you can choose more than one. It's up to you. Okay. Sometimes when you think that, okay, I think that ethnography is much more complex that I want to use for requirement gathering so that I can get a good user requirement using this method. However, sometimes you need more, right? So you also plus questionnaire. So you can also mix method. You have more than one method. It can be, right? So I will give you an options to use any of these, or you can mix it, right? Okay. All right, let's go through one by one. Okay. But in this slide, okay, there is no participant analysis. But I will explain before to continue to explain each of these. Okay, participant analysis is you analyze your users. Okay, what kind of analysis is based on what's you need for the design. Okay, maybe the behavior, maybe the needs, of course, the needs. This is generally, but the participants is based on your target users. Okay. So let's go through one by one. Observations. Okay, observe. Okay, observe. So I believe that you understand the word observe, right? Watching. Okay, watching people. Okay, it's watching people, programs, event, communities, and etc. Okay, so observe, right? Watching. So this will involve all your five senses, which is your eyes, sight, your ears, hearing, your nose, smelling, your hands, touching, and your mouth, taste. Okay, but normally, okay, the normal sense that we normally use or common use is only this two, sight and hearing. Okay, sight and hearing. Smell can, but it's not so common lah. Normally, what you see, what you hear, and sometimes what you touch. Smell and taste is smell and taste quite quite not so common, because we talk about design of user interface, right? Okay, so normally you cannot smell it, right? Or you cannot taste it. So the common sense is these three lah. Observation include more than just seeing. So you not just see what you see, see all these people, program, event, communities. You not just see. but it's more than that. You try to find out what's happening. Okay, so observation can range from complete participant observations, where the interview become a member of the group, understudy, to a more detect observation using a casually observing and noting occurrence of specific kind of behavior. Meaning that when you do observations, it can be complex, it can be a just simple observations. It's depend on what you need, what you want to know. Okay. You can also be part of the group, okay, that you observe, right? Now, this is what explained in this text lah. So observation is good to use, okay, to provide information about real life situations or circumstances, to assess what is happening, because you cannot rely on participant willingness and ability to furnish information. Okay. I give you an example. You have a proposal, okay, to design, okay, student mall in your ITM Jasin, right? So you need to observe, okay, what kind of product or what kind of a need of yours of the users inside of your ITM, included the lecturer, the students, the staff. Okay, what they need, what they like, right? So you may look into the real life situations. Okay, they really need a mall in UITM Jasin, or is it just you are imagine how if we can have a mall in UITM? Example lah kan. To assess what is happening, look at if there is an issues. Okay, because you want to see, is it a need, is it a desire need, right? So you can observe what normally people inside the UITM did. Okay? Are they frequently shopping? Are they need something that need them to go out for shopping? Okay? Right? So because you can rely on participant willingness and ability. Okay? Because this statement mentioned that you cannot rely on participant willingness and ability to furnish information. You are the one need to observe it. Okay, by asking only, that's the participant willingness, right? But what the users or what they want is maybe personalized, personal. It's based on personal. Okay, it's not the need for everyone there. That's why you need to observe. You need to explore. Okay, the real situations and what is happening. When is observation useful? Okay, when should we use observation? Okay, the best. Yeah? When you want direct information, that's why you need to go there and do observation. When you are trying to understand an ongoing behavior, process, unfolding situations or event, you try to understand, right? So you go to the situations, you dive deep the situations, and you try to understand. When there is a physical evidence, product or outcome that can be readily seen, this is good if you heard that there is a problem, okay, inside UITM, for example, that people the physical I'm not sure that do we have a corporation, ada ke corporations in UITM, or a small shop for students to buy things. People you heard, okay, students or people inside UITM comment about the product inside is not enough for students, kan, habis stock, or they are not providing the correct needs, right? So you need to see the physical evidence. When written or other data collection methods seem inappropriate, this might be you get a complaint. Okay, you get a complaint that talking about the issues inside, or give the same example inside the UiTM about the shop inside it, but that's only in written form. Okay, so if you only do a survey data collections, okay, it might not inappropriate for you to understand a better situation. So observation is the option. Okay. Who or what to observe? Okay, one, people, the users, individual, group, communities, where what you want to observe is the characteristic, the interactions, the behavior, the reaction. Okay, so same example just now. Okay, you want to propose open a mall, okay, in UiTM Jasin. So you need to look the people characteristic. Okay? What kind of lifestyle, what kind of product they need, what the interaction they preferred. Okay, cashless, or they want other method like using a card point, right? Membership. Okay, look at the behavior on the shopping, and also the reactions. Okay. Second things is the physical setting. Is it the location is good? Okay, where it should be. Okay. Next, environmental features. Looking at the UiTM Jasin environment, is it good to open? Do you think that we can get a vendor, okay, to open their shop there? Do they get a profit from it? All included the environmental. And lastly, product physical artifacts. So talking about the product. So maybe those willing to open might not exact a product that need by the people inside UiTM. Okay. So of course, every method have advantage and disadvantage. For observations, the good thing, the advantage, most direct measure of behavior, because you can see, so you can directly measure it. Provide direct information, again, is a direct measurement, direct information that you get. Easy, right? Easy, because by observing, you can get something from it. Okay, and it saves time. Okay, your analysis will come with your observation, right? Okay. Can be used in natural or experimental setting. It can be just nature, you just do the observation in formal, or also you can do in formally experimental setting. Okay, experimental setting meaning that maybe you give a situations, okay, give a situation to the users, and then you look what their reactions and their behavior. The disadvantage of these observations, okay, however, the disadvantage may require training, meaning that you may not a good expert. Okay, what you see is you couldn't do analysis. I couldn't understand why people like that. You are not expert, right? So you couldn't see the what we call it, the implicit or behind the behavior of what you want to the users. Okay? So maybe you need a training first, or you are in a group. Okay, one of your team, okay, may need a training, because everyone need have a same mission and vision when you do observation. So you do a group, right? So you need to have a rehearsal or training first, okay, so that everyone know what to do when do observation. Observer presents may create artificial situation, because what you see and what others see and what myself see could be different interpretation. I mean, okay. For example, if you look one situations, okay, arguing between two person, okay, some of you might think that they are normal talking each other. Yeah, some of you might think that they are fighting, right? Some of you also may think that they want to clarify something. So the interpretations is different. based on individually. Okay? Because you just rely on your observation, your personal observation. And that's why artificial situation might be created. Potential for bias, of course, because maybe what you observe is you think that, oh, this is same with me. Okay? Or maybe you think that your observation is you observe your friends. Okay, just pretend, okay, we want to observe you, how you do this. Do a good one, bias. You tell them to just showing the good behavior. Something like that can be bias because the group of your target user is your friends, right? Okay. Oh, you tell them, okay, I want to do observation that day. Okay, please pretend that we are not there. Okay, so it's not natural. It's based on what you tell them what to do. Okay, potential to overlook meaningful aspect. Okay, because again, some person have a detailed interpretation. Some people just simply look and then interpret. So you might overlook some meaningful aspect, okay, that needed for your design. Potential for misinterpretations, same goes a little bit same with the artificial situation. You create because you misinterpret. Difficult to analysis, right? Because you are in 5 members, for example. So when you do analysis, you might have a different interpretation, right? So how to make sure that everyone have a same mission and vision? That's why the need of training is not. So the analysis personally is not based on one guidelines, right? Or refer something. Okay, example for observation. If you want informations about, you will record. Okay, so if you want information about who use a particular services, okay, so you will record a total number of user broken down by gender, age, ethnic, etc. If you want information about the interaction between youth and adult, okay, and types of questions, has you need to have a list of questions to be asked by each. If you want to information about neighborhood safety, so what do you think? What should you do? What should you record? Okay. All right. So you need to list out first what kind of information you need, and you need to have a guideline or reference, because like just now we have different perceptions, personal analysis. So it's good to have everyone in same boat. Okay. Next, ethnography. Okay. Ethnography research allow the designer to understand consumers, including how they act, what they want, and what their attitude, perceptions, and behavior are. So this one is more detailed. Okay, not only to look the behavior, but also what they need. Okay, and the detail of the behavior, attitude, perceptions, and etc. are also been analyzed. The designer can discover unmet needs and understand the impact of a product within the specific context. Okay. Because we we if you can see, ethnographic is kind of complex, detailed and complex. So you will discover a lot of things, Okay? So not only the needs, but you can get the impact. Okay. Okay. Ethnography, a naturalistic method. Okay, based on studying people. So ethno is just not observe, it just observe randomly, right? Or you can observe also your target users lah, but just observe, you see, and then you make interpretation. But for ethnography, it's more than that. You study the people, okay, the users, in their own environment in order to understand the meaning they attribute to the activities. So ethnography is a kind of observations, because you go to the situation, the real situation. Okay, you go. Not you call them to come to your place and set a group and to get the information. No, it's similar with observation. You are there. You are there. That's why it's put naturalistic. Ethnography is often a two-part activity. Okay? Active participant in an observation of naturally occurring setting, and also a written account, okay, of what goes on there. Okay? So active participations is you lah, the researcher. Okay, just now just observe. You maybe have a simple or complex, right? But this one you don't have option. You should have this kind of active participations. You just not to see it and see what are going, what happening, but you are active, okay? Active in the observations. Okay, active here means that you can ask them, you can call them, you can talk to them. Okay, you dig up all the, not only observe but more active. And then you have a written notes. Okay, what you get from it. Okay, what you observe, what you ask them. Okay, so in a written. Ethnographic research is the attentive observations, the experience, and the systematic document of a social group in order to establish knowledge. Okay, so it's more than observe. Attentive observe. Okay, you experience it and you come up with the systematic documentations. For example, that you do after that you got analysis. How many female and male that you observe. The detail of their demography, maybe the group age, the race, and so on. And then the detail, the systematic documentations, what you get from it. The best tool for ethnographic research is the design knowledge, vision, and memory. Because this is depend on you, the researcher, the designer, the researcher. Normally, researcher and designer should be different person, right? Because this is a group, right? This is a group. You are the designer, you also are the researcher. So this tool, yes, good, but it's depend on you, the researcher, your knowledge, what you do in the ethnographic research, your vision, okay, your interpretation and analysis, and the memory. Okay, yeah, you need to have a good memory as well. Okay, that's why you need to write up actually. Okay, you can use camera, voice recorder, notebook, okay, to be remind when you do observe. Okay, of course, we are human. Okay, you know human ability. We have a short and long-term memory, right? So use these tools. Okay, camera, voice recorder, notebook. Okay, your handphone. Okay, video camera is valuable tools that allow an independent researcher to focus on, because sometimes you get the information quickly because you go to their place, they might busy with what they do, what they did, right? So use a camera to have a short interview, okay? And then after that, you need to analyze again, okay? You couldn't analyze at that time because when you have this one, because sometimes you might remember the observation just now, okay, the disadvantage, you might missing a valuable part. So this ethno is more detailed because you use the tool, okay? Use the tool. So video camera, voice recorder, okay? You can analyze again, you can listen and analyze again to get the valuable. Ethnographic research is the attentive and systematic watching or recording of somebody or something in order to establish knowledge. This knowledge can lead to innovative idea. All right, okay. That's why it's not just observe. It attentive and systematic watching or recording someone. And from it, you analyze it, you can get a better proposed product solutions, which is the innovative idea. Okay. So this is the link if you want to have a further reading on ethnography. Okay. Ethnography is mostly used actually from, but this one is quite complex. But the valuable input is very good for researcher. Ethnography in product design. Okay, this is an example of how ethnography method have been applied in product design. Okay, remember that HCI is not only about applying a product in electronic version, okay, that have a user interface. You more than that. Okay? You can create any product actually. That's why the relevance of the study at CI, okay, is more than that. It's more on product design. Okay? So this is one example, creating electronic learning aids. Okay, so there is one group of researcher, okay, planning to develop electronic learning aids category of toy. Okay, so their target users is the children. So they went to the some of kindergarten, okay, preschool, okay, preschool, kindergarten. Okay, they film, okay, they record, okay, they record the interaction children with the toy. Okay, I just make a summary. So the recording take 5 hours. 5 hours. Imagine 5 hours. And 2 days. 2 days. Okay. The first days they try to observe, of course, deep observe, right? Observe. The second day, okay, they found something, okay, where they seen that student immersed with the toy research. Okay, but that time is on the recess time. Waktu rehat, waktu rehat. Budak-budak ni waktu rehat, dia sukalah main game kan waktu rehat. But when the bell rang, lonceng berbunyi je kan, so the children immediately drop the toy and line up to go outside. So bila dah habis waktu rehat, dia terus masuklah. Rabat kata outside, inside lah kan. Mungkin ini maksud dia outside lain. Okay. So, of course, the video had been shut off and was being packed up when the teachers took the students out. Dia dah masuk kelas lah kan. So they don't want to interrupt their lesson or learning session. Okay. So what they found, okay, from the observation, from the analysis, they come up with the outdoor product called Jitterbug. The product looked like a box because that's the name, like Jitterbugs. Look like a box. And when children dance with the bugs, it will give them a series of tasks to do, which is running, jumping, hopping, because that is the recess time, right? Rest time. Okay? While simultaneously teaching them something, which is alphabetical, number, color, and cooperation. For example, alphabetical lah. Dance, singing A for what, B, A for apple, B for ball, right? So dancing at the same time, learn all this alphabetical, number, color, okay? And cooperation. Okay, cooperation means they can do something together. So explain more about these products is this one lah. Jitterbug caterpillar is ready to dance. Learning fun allow baby to build this bug. A simple press. So this is the features, the detail about the learning aids. Yeah? All right. So that's one of the example. Next method is interview. Okay, interview are probably the most widely used technique for collecting data. Okay? Widely used. They mention here widely used. They permit the interview to ask the respond direct questions. But of course, like you already have a set equation. Okay, so you can directly ask questions to your participants. Okay, further probing and as you might do an analysis, okay, or interpretations while you do interview, and the continue questions might out of the list that you have. For example, do you have a problem using this machine? For example, your question is just a basic. What kind of problem, right? So when they tell you, oh, I believe that the machine need to be improvised. I feel hard to use the machine because I couldn't use it well because it's kind of not user friendly. What kind of user friendly that you talk about, right? Tell me more about the user friendly that you need. So you dig out from the questions that you have, for the probing and clarification. This flexibility is invaluable for gaining private view and feelings. This is based on the person, right, that you interview. Okay, so flexibility invaluable. Okay, gaining private views because every person might have different perceptions. Okay? Someone say that I like this one, I prefer this one. So, but all your finding, you will get a different view and feelings that you will do analysis later on. Okay, so here is the valuable information that you will explore the new issues. That maybe for the first, you think that the solutions is A, but at the end actually you have other solution after you analyze the interview. It might be AB, something like that. So interview may be highly structured, resemble a questionnaire, or highly unstructured, starting with the general question that allowed. Interview might have these two situations. You can have highly structured, where you already have the list of questions, or also highly unstructured. Okay, you just ask a general questions, and the next, the response from the participants will lead you to another questions that you did not plan at all. Okay. Interview can be done one-to-one or in a group. Okay. You go one by one. Okay. Hi, I want to do interview. Okay. Can you tell me about one-to-one? You go one by one by one, right? Okay. You also can do a group. Okay. You call a group, a class. Hi, I'm a researcher from blah, blah, blah. Okay, can you tell me what is the problem that you having? So it's in the group. Okay, so of course, the response might be individual or in the team. Yes, we agree with that and something like that, right? So because it's in group. Okay. So based on one-to-one and group, of course, each have a pro and cons. If one-to-one, it's more you as a researcher have a full control. What you ask, the participant respond. What you ask, the participant respond. Right. For group, you might uncontrol them when they start talking. Yeah, we agree. Yeah, we want to be have a more better system, please. So it's maybe you are only be part of the moderator and facilitator. Okay, tell me more. Okay, and can you so you you need to lead. Okay, lead the group, because it may chaos if you couldn't control the group. Okay, so actually, in the method just now, you have interview and focus group together. Okay? But actually, I would rather change it to this one is focus group. Okay, let me change lah. No. I couldn't change the slide, right? But okay. Referring to this slide, okay, interview have two. You have one interview, a normal interview lah, and another one is focus group. But for me, focus group and interview is a different thing. Okay, focus group. Okay, focus group, another unstructured group meeting. Okay, conduct by a manager or consultant. Oh, not manager or consultant. It also can be the researcher lah. It's a small group. Okay, it's depend lah. It's depend what how many focus group that you need. Okay, this is the method that I use. Okay, actually when I do a gathering requirement, I do a survey, interview, and focus group. Okay, why I choose these three methods? Because at first, I'm doing online survey. Okay, I give them one situation, so they need to tell me the expected locations of what they prefer on individually. Let's survey. Okay, after I get the result, okay, I want to dig more information. So I do focus group. So I call in a team. Okay, so my team is smaller than this. It's not 10 to 15. It's below than 10. Okay, because my research is on ASEAN group. So it's depend on how many group that I get. Sometimes I go to different, because I have 10 ASEAN countries, right? Cambodia, Thailand, Singapore. So the group depend on what provided to me. Okay, so I use a focus group. Okay, to it can be structured and unstructured actually. Okay, I know why they put interview in the focus group in the interview session. It's actually kind of a group interview just now. Okay. but actually it's different thing. So focus group is more on a group discussion. Okay, group on discussion. Okay, so so it starts by asking general question, and group members are encouraged to discuss their answer in some depth. Okay, you brief what you need them to do, right? And then you ask them to do in group, or maybe also, even though it's a focus group, it can be individually. Okay, for me, I do individually. I just get a focus group. Okay, I tell them some situation and give them a task. Okay, same goes what I'm doing online just now, but that one individually. When focus group, I brief all the groups. Okay, all the groups. Focus group can be one, can be more than one actually. Focus group is not necessarily small group 10 to 15. Actually, you can have a few like me, right? I have a focus group based on the country that I went. So my focus group is based on the country. Okay. So I tell them that I want them to arrange the button, the button that I give in some kind of paper lah. So the task is done by individually, not in a group. So it's up to you how you do in a focus group. But a focus group is more on one group that you call together. Rather than interview just now, you ask a question in the group. Right, different, right? Okay, so you might give a experiment, or you might give some task to them to do. Okay, so the richness and validity of the information will depend on the extent that trust exists. That's why we call it focus group, because we believe that this group is your target users. So if the target users, this target user should be the one that you will be use your system. Okay, my focus group is not randomly picked. Okay, I choose those have experience use a website, but the website is specifically for the information website. Okay, so different with a group just now. Okay, so the focus group is depend on the trust. Okay, trust means that sometimes they do because of they are forced to do, right? Okay, so buat je lah kan, hantam sajalah kan, something like that. So some giving you a good cooperation tau. Okay, what should we do? Okay, so they you have their trust. I mean that they trust you that, so that's why at first you need to explain what is the purpose, what about the information, is it for research only, is it will be publicly used. So you will tell them this is confidentially, okay, for research purpose, something like that lah. So they trust you. Okay, anything will not reveal to public. So when to use interview? Okay, when this go back to interview just now, when you are trying to understand someone else subjective, okay, because subjective, okay, subjective, okay, you want to know more, okay, but subjective, this is depend on their perceptions and behavior. When your evaluation questions are more open-ended, your question have no option, you want to have their perception, right? So you give open-ended questions. Normally question we have two types, right? Open-ended and close-ended. Close-ended tu you bagi dia MCQ lah kan. Are you agree, yes or no? Macam tu je lah, dia ada jawapan. Kalau open-ended, it's depend. So the answer might be, you might have a variety of answer. Okay. When you don't need to generalize your finding, okay, because you don't need to have a generalize, you don't need to have one vision or one objective. Your one objective might be more than the objectives. You don't need to come up with one objective. It can be more an interpretation. So when to use a focus group? Just now, interview, right? Focus group when you are trying to understand subject. Same with interview just now. When to understand subjective experience and more open-ended questions. But the difference is these two. Okay, when you see that response may be uncomfortable in one-to-one situation, because sometimes you ask, hey, can I call you for interview, or because you don't know them, you are randomly choose, maybe they are stranger kan, they feel strange, they feel strange, stranger kan, so they don't need I don't want, I'm busy, because they uncomfortable actually. Okay, so that's why you ask them in advance. I want to do a research, I want you to become one of my focus group, so you need to tell them early. When your evaluation question require you to understand a group dynamic, uh, when your evaluation need to have a group punya task, you want to see the cooperation, something like that, group dynamic. So the disadvantage of using interview, okay, they can consume a great deal of time. Sometimes it will take 1 day, kan, because you want to get more information. So you will take their times. That's why normally we ask early. They will ask you early how long the interview session will take. So you will give roughly, I will need only 1 hour. I will need only 30 minutes. So the time is given lah. They already know, because they also know when talking about interview, it will drag the time. And that's why normally they ask you how long the interview session will be. Personal bias can also distort the data. Okay, this one same goes. What they inform you is based on bias. Oh, you are my friend. Okay, I will I will give you a good feedback. Something like that. Bias on something like that. Okay. The nature of the questions and interactions between the interview and response may discourage or encourage certain kind of response. Okay? Because interview is based on how active you as a researcher guide them to answer the question. If you tanya soalan macam nak tak nak kan, are you agree with this? Are you okay with that? So your participant also not interested with the interaction, right? But if you think, oh, that's very interesting, can you tell me more? See, so how they respond is based on how you give your reaction as well lah. Yeah, how you treat them. Maybe, oh, good. Okay, after this I will give you, because normally when we do interview, this is random lah. Interview, we bring something for ni lah, for apa ni, for students, okay, for students. Okay, normally when we do interview, okay, especially for student, okay, either university student, primary student, or secondary student, we bring something. Okay, bukan rasuah lah, bukan rasuah, just token of appreciation. Okay, because that make them willing to help us to give information. Kan? Kalau tidak, macam nak tak nak je. Anything I can get after this interview? No, it's just my interview sessions. Can you help me? Tak ada apa-apa, okay. But if you give something, after this I will provide you a bread and apa ni, a mineral water. Interesting. Kalau children, kita suka lah kita bawa apa ni, pencil box. After this I will give you this one. Can you help me tell me on so diorang pun interested to respond. Kan, because dia tahu dia dapat reward nanti kan. So normally like that lah, okay? Because standard lah, semua orang suka free hadiah kan, hadiah free kan, something like that lah. Even university student tahu, dia orang pun interested benda tu. We bring keychain, we bring apa ni, badge, so dia orang interested. It take considerable skill to gather valid data. That's why you should be a good or active researcher. Okay, so it's depend on how you conduct the interview session. Your skill lah, your skill. Macam saya cakap tadi, kalau nak tak nak tanya soalan, okay, done. Rather than you give encourage to them. Wow, that's very nice. So can you tell me more how you use that? Normally kalau budak-budak kita kena buat macam tu lah, macam kanak-kanak juga. So kalau tidak, dia takut. Okay, because we have a study on preschool. Budak dia takut dengan orang stranger, dia takut. Tapi ada yang berani, no? Biasalah kan, ada budak yang very friendly, ada yang very shy kan. So banyak yang shy dengan takut orang ni sebab budak kan, budak tak, they didn't use, they only biasa dengan dia punya teacher saja kan. So sometimes the teachers or the parent kena ada sekali baru dia nak bercakap, sometimes lah. Okay, so that's inilah the skills that you have to have lah untuk dapatkan valid data. Let me check the time. Okay, already 11. Interview, a close-end questions impose a limit on the possibility response. For example, are you for against couple living together before they are married? So close-ended questions ni dia bagi limit possible response. Okay, so interview also they have two types of question, close-ended dengan open-ended. Kalau close-ended ni itulah you already give the option answer, yes or no, agree or disagree, or something like this one. Are you for or against couple living together before they are married? So the answer should be yes or no, right? Okay. Other than these open-ended questions, allow answer to take whatever from the response choose. Example, what do you think about couple living together before they are married? So what do you think, right? So the answer should be, I think it's have a positive and negative impact. For example, it's depend on how they respond to you, right? Rather than this one, you already give option yes or no, something like that, right? Next method is questionnaire. Okay, I think this is the last one. Questionnaire. Questionnaire is a survey. Survey. Okay, survey is a questionnaire, okay, that are administered to a sample of response selected from a target population. You have a set equation. You also have a target population. For example, your study is towards university students. So your normally we before this we use paper survey, but nowadays it's very popular. You use online survey using a Google Form kan, Monkey. Monkey tu bukan monyet lah kan, the system tu nama Monkey. Okay, so similar with Google Doc. Okay, so you already have a target user, so you distribute the questionnaire, the survey among university because your target user is university. Yeah. Survey research tend to look at large. Okay, normally when we do questionnaire, we tend to get more or large scale of response. Okay. Interview is more than 30. So 32 is apa ni kita panggil thumb punya method, mesti 30 or more than 30, 100, 200. So the more you get, the better analysis that you can do. Okay, because the survey is normally using analysis tool. Okay, you can have a frequency based on frequency, what is the highest, what is the highest majority kan, macam tu kan, or else it have a system macam SPSS kan? And one of the some of the system kan, some of the method need certain amount, macam analysis of using a rush model. Okay? Rush model you need to have data that 100 and above, something like that. Okay, as bukan SPSS tu lagi, SAM-PLS. Okay? You need to have more than 200, something like that lah, for the analysis can be done. Interview involve direct face-to-face contact with response and often can generate large amount of qualitative data. This is for interview. Okay. As in most research, the researcher identified the target population. Normally, the question is how many data that we want to collect. So the good thing is you calculate based on the population. So you can have normally people will ask, how many should I collect the survey, the data? That's not normally questions. When you do a research, people will ask you why you collect only 20, why you collect only 10, right? They ask you about the number. So the good, using a survey, you calculate based on population. So if you search in internet, there is a calculations to find a sample, how many sample, a minimum sample, we call it minimum sample. How many minimum sample that we want to collect based on population. Kalau 1000 ada amount dia, kalau 100 population amount dia. So normally we need to find out the population lah. For example, berapa population pelajar dekat UiTM? Contohlah 8,000. So daripada 8,000 tu, how to calculate how many minimum sample that we need. So minimum sample that the benchmark. Mesti you dapat, you need to reach that number. If you go more than that, good. But you cannot go below than that. Okay. When to use questionnaire? When your evaluation question are well defined, you already have a set question. When you need to collect data from a fairly large number, you need big data, big number. When you have the ability to process analysis, and you need to have the analysis tools or skills. Okay, using SPSS, using even Excel pun boleh buat. SAM, PLS, RASH. There's a lot of analysis tool that you can be used. Okay, the disadvantage or drawback using questionnaire, response are limited to the questions because it's mostly close-end question, right? Close-ended questions. So it's based on what you give. Mostly we can use a scale, kan? Can you give a scale from 1 to 5? How you rate the current system? Something like that. So limited response. They provide little opportunity to probe for additional data or clarification because what you ask is what they understand to respond only. Okay, they tend to be impersonal because it's individually. Okay, individual perception. Often elicit response bias. Bias ni, that's why lah, if you are sending the survey to a big amount kan, of your target users. So sometimes they just do because of you are their friends kan. Oh, tolonglah isikan saya punya survey ni. Okay, boleh lah. They didn't read actually. They just tick, okay, done. So normally questionnaire, actually for this situation, we can do something lah to make sure that there is no bias. That bias in terms of did not read the question lah. Normally we arrange the questions positif, negatif, dia jadi susunan dia beza-beza. Kadang-kadang you tanya positif, kadang-kadang you tanya negatif. So dia punya answer tu different. Lain lah kalau you buat semua sama, jawapan dia mesti yes, right? So you put something like that lah. Or else, you put one of the questions yang you know that when the question is not same as the previous, dia letak dua soalan yang sama tau dalam questionnaire tu, tapi jawapan dia berbeza. So dia tahulah, maksudnya orang tu tak baca sebenarnya. Dekat soalan pertama dia jawab A, dekat soalan kelima, contohlah you sengaja kan, dia jawab B. So sebenarnya dia tak baca. Okay? So banyaklah, a few technique lah to avoid this bias. So various question format, okay, from the basic question format, we have 3 types, open-ended, close-ended, and scale question. So open-ended, you can have a basic, probing, clarifications. Because this is open, you can give, you can answer the questions more than the option that give you, right? Close-ended, how to pronounce it? Dichotomous and multiple choice, MCQ lah. Okay, so you already give the answer. Okay, single coded or multiple coded. So it can be yes or no, true or false, or it can have 4 options. Scale questions, label or unlabeled. You can have 1 label. Okay, from the scale 1 to 5. Please rate all these questions. So you have a list of questions, but you did mention that give a scale. So the scale ni normally kita panggil Likert scale. Dia ada Likert scale, nombor genap dengan nombor ganjil. Kan? How to get which one is the best? You need to have a justification lah. Kenapa you bagi scale odd number 5 rather than you choose even number 4. Okay? So kalau 4 ni, kalau even number ni, dia tak boleh tengah-tengah. So normally kalau kita tanya soalan, are you okay with the system, dia akan pilih yang tengah-tengah, yang safe answer. Okay, tengah-tengah safe answer lah, yang natural. Okay, macam tu kan. Rather than you kena say yes or no. Kan? So you kata, agree or disagree only. So agree, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. Rather than you put in the middle, natural. So people tends to choose yang natural to save question kan. Safe answer, dia akan pilih tengah-tengah. So it's hard for you to do analysis later on. So later on, how to decide? Yes ke no dia punya jawapan tu kan. So normally, when we try to avoid bias, we give scale questions ni yang even number. Okay. I think this is the second last part. Okay, not much more. Okay, I hope you're still with me. Okay, task analysis. Okay, giving a task. Okay, task analysis is a fundamental methodology. All right, thank you, Amirul. Fundamental methodology in the assessment and reduction of human error. Okay, you are giving a task. So task that you will analyze based on task. So it can be action oriented or cognitive approach. Okay, so action-oriented means that task analysis technique provide a description of the observable aspect of operator behavior at various level of the detail together with some indication of the structure of the task. Where cognitive is focused on the mental process. For example, decision making and problem solving. So, task analysis have these two type lah, action-oriented dengan cognitive. Action-oriented ni dia macam dah ada provide description lah. Rather than cognitive is based on the mental process. Okay. So, let's go through the example of action-oriented. Okay, action-oriented we have hierarchical task analysis, HTA. Operator action event trees, OAET, or decision action flow diagram. So, HTA is the one that highlight here, means this is the most common use. Cognitive task analysis techniques, we have critical action and decision evaluation techniques, CADET, or the influence modeling and assessment system, IMAS. Okay, but if you can see the highlight one is HTA. Normally, when talk about task analysis, we will use HTA. That's why the explanation further on HTA. HTA is systematic method of describing how works is organized in order to meet the overall objective of the job. Task analysis require us to first understand what task is. Okay, now, this is actually task analysis is the last yang tadi yang personal analysis. Remember the method just now? We have 6 or 7 method. Okay, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 method, right? So task analysis is this one lah, participant analysis. Okay, sepatutnya dia letak task analysis kan, jadi orang tak confuse. Saya tak tahu kenapa dia tukar task participant analysis. So better actually to put task analysis lah here. So that actually I also before this I review, I thought that they did not explain. But when now, okay, now only I aware that actually the task analysis is explained for the participant analysis. Okay, so this is the last method using a task analysis. We are giving your our participant a task. Okay, something like that lah. Okay, so a task is the first or foremost activity. It's function. Kalau dalam computer oriented activity, we call it function, features function, right? Okay. Kalau human oriented, we call task analysis. A task can be fully or partially supported by computer based. It can totally using a computer based or partially, separuh-separuh. Okay. So the advantage using a HTA, economical, murah, economical method, gathering and organizing informations. The to focus on that because you can see the detail kan, the detail. Okay. HTA allow functional objective focus on the function. Okay. HTA is best developed as a collaboration between task analyst, you researcher, and people involved in the operations, which is the users. Okay. So tasks need to be identified. So when we use this method, first of all, we need to identify the task. Okay, so the task is based on real world analog. Okay, for example, a real library instead of electronic e-library. So a real bank rather than e-bank, a real shop rather than e-shop. So you have these features: loan, return, pay, fine, withdraw for each of these real one. So once we have identified our tasks, we need to analyze how they are supported by the computer-based system. After we have the real analogy just now, okay, we support with the computer-based. That's why sometimes we can have partially, sometimes we can have fully computer-based. To do this, we need to break down the tasks. So you have subtasks, okay, where necessary, and then identify and map the function available to us from the system to those tasks or subtasks. Okay. Task analysis is not complete walkthrough of all of the interaction of a function. It does not go down to keystroke level. For example, the always of subtask login can simply be stated as login. Okay. Okay. This means, okay, kalau kita ada function login, kan, kita tahu login tu macam mana, kan? So dia tak adalah subtask, kan? So kita boleh kata login saja, so orang tahu login tu maksud dia apa, kan? Once tasks have been identified, decomposed into subtasks, we can think about how user plan them out. Remember normal, execution, evaluation, circle. Even though this one have not been, I don't think that we have discussed about the normal. Adakah tentang normal? Tak ada yang part 1, saya tak ingat. Evaluation, execution, evaluation, circle. So this is a few example of HTA. Okay, dia ada a few type tau. You akan tengok different type of HTA. This is the first type. Okay, you have 0. Okay, clean the house. To clean the house, so normally the first one is the objective lah. To clean the house, okay, you need to break into clean living room, clean halfway, clean bedroom. Okay, so for clean bedroom, you need to clean master room first, and then clean the bedroom number 2, number 3. Dia macam task dengan sub-task. So this is the first example of HTA. Any task which has a subtask should have an associate plan. So this is the plan. So this is the task, this is the plan. So it should come together lah. Plan 0, which is clean house, do 1 and 2 in order, and if necessary, do 3. So dia dah bagi you plan. Plan number 3, clean bedroom. Okay, do 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 as when those room required cleaning. Okay, so based on this, ada planning there. Okay. A plan is like a computer program. It is a set of instruction. Okay, several human-oriented tasks can be identified for the system, but task analysis has all primary tasks as task 0. Okay. Task 1 is always a subtask of a primary task. Yang first lah. Okay, the mapping of function to a task or subtask is simply as search for item. How you do a search for item? So first, use keyword search, and then use navigation bar. Kan, either these two, right? And then the search bar could have the subtask. Okay, if you choose number 1, you have to enter the search, view the result, refine the search, view, and okay, all right. So this is another example using HTA. Okay, you have your goal, okay, at the top, task to complete the goal, and then subtasks to carry out one of the tasks. Okay. So this is the example. The task is arrange a meeting. Okay, arrange a meeting. So to arrange a meeting, what you need to do? Compile a list of meeting attendance, compile a list of meeting constraint, find a suitable date, enter meeting calendar, inform meeting attendance lead. So the plan is starting from 0, do 1, 2, 3. If potential date are identified, then only you can proceed with 4 and 5. If not, repeat 2 and 3 until you get the suitable date lah, maksud dia. Dia macam procedure code juga kan? Procedure code. Plan 3, okay. To find a suitable date, you need to identify department dates, identify individual dates, compare potential date, and choose one preferred date. So plan number 3, you need to do 3.1, 2, 3, and 4. Or can skip 1, you start with 3.2 first, and then you go back to 3.1, and you go for 3.3 and 3.4. So this is a graphical represent of HTA. This is using graphical, just now using a text. So second types of HTA. This is a HTA for write a letter. To write a letter, first get supplier, write the actual letter, prepare envelope, and then prepare to mail. Prepare envelope, you need to get address, you need to apply a stamp. To get an address, you need to find address book and you need to find address. Prepare a mail, you need to insert letter and then seal the envelope. Yeah. All right. Next, borrow a book. So this one same goes with the graphical just now. So borrow a book in library. Okay. So you have to do first go to the library first, right? And then find the required book and then retrieve the book and take a book counter. Okay, so your plan is starting from 0, do 1, 3, 4. Okay, if book isn't on the shelf expected, do 3, 4. So this you need to have a good imagination lah. This one yang bagus lah untuk imagination. It can be based on your experience. Okay, it also can based on imaginations lah. Right, so this is in the text type, just now in a graphical types. Okay, another example. Okay, another example. So you have two types, graphical dengan text. Okay, but I will prefer you to use this graphical better. Okay, so a few example that you can try to look at. Okay, lastly, design rational. Why? Design rational ni why kan? Okay. So design rational include not only the reason behind the design decision, but also the justification. Okay, why we choose this design? Why we need to design like that? So it's a justification. Design rationale consists of a lot of different informations, the history of the design process, and the reason for making each decision. Okay, in design rationale, you have process and the decision. So this information can be useful in several aspects, which is design verifications, design evaluation, maintenance, reuse, teaching, communications, assistance, and documentation. We will go through one by one. So design verification, the goal is to use rationale in order to verify that the design meet the requirement. The name verifications is you need to get a verifications of your design with the user's need. Design evaluation is quite similar with verifications, except that the rationale is used to evaluate design and the design choice relative to one another. Tadi verify kan, you nak tengok dia punya meets dengan design tu okay tak. Evaluate ni boleh juga guna yang boleh juga purpose dia lebih kurang macam verify, or dia nak confirm kan. You have a few design, you want to choose one, something like that lah. Design maintenance, the design rationale is used to determine that what choice were made when performing the design in order to locate source of design problem, or to indicate where change need to be made in order to modify the design. Design maintenance ni dia macam tengok feedback and then modification. Okay, the word maintenance you can relate lah with maintenance kan. Ada perubahan, ada error, you need to modify something like that. Design reuse, the design rationale is used to determine which portion of the design can be reused and in some case suggest where and how it should be modified. Design reuse ni macam you nak buat design coursework, sistem coursework. Sistem coursework ni maksudnya macam software ataupun apps lah, senang cerita. Apps untuk children belajar kan. So this one is for children, but you want to create a apps for university level. you can use same design actually, but you need to have some modification lah, because of course for children, the icon, the color should be more attractive, right? Because children kan, dia suka kartun apa semua. But for university level, it's a young adult, right? So dia nampak matured sikit lah. So you tukar sikit dia color design, something like that lah, the design they use. Design teaching, design rationale can also be helpful in assist teaching new personnel about the design. Besides providing insight into how it works, the rationale show why each design choice was made. This convey more information than a statistical design rationale. Okay, design teaching ni, dia macam macam nak cakap dia membantu untuk macam nak cakap, learning support is especially crucial when the original design are not available to teach. Dia macam one designer to another one designer kan. So you teach using a design dia lah. Macam you are the original designer kan. You tell your new designer that this is what we normally use. Okay, we use a principle of something like that. Macam tu lah. Okay, and you tell them, okay, to have a good design, you need to follow Norman principle, for example lah. Macam itulah design teaching. Normally it's based on the philosophy of guidelines lah. Design communications, the presence of rational improve design both after and during the design process. Design communication ni dia macam getting a feedback. Okay, so you use the design untuk prototype, untuk you tell your users, is this what you meant? Okay, and then I think this one you need to improve, so you get a communication tool using that design. Design assistant, the ability to verify and evaluate design choices allow the designer to view the result of their design decision. Rationale is used to verify that design is correct. Design assistant ni macam it will help, instead of you give the text punya manual, you followed by the design as a visual one. Something lah. Okay. Design documentation is also assist in documenting the design by offering a pictures of the history of the design and reason for the design choices as well as a view of the final report. Ini documentation ni maksudnya macam buat final report lah. Macam you nanti akan buat final report kan, what design, okay, what design that you do analysis and for your implementation. Method for rational capture. So this is a list of method how to capture rationale. First, reconstruction. Okay, capture outside the design process, usually after it has been performed. The advantage of this approach is that it's non-intrusive. The disadvantage is that it's may not accurate. Okay, so reconstruction ni capture outside the design process. After it has been performed. Maksudnya lepas dapat feedback, okay, you reconstruct again. Okay, so itu antara method untuk rational lah. Second, methodology by products. It based on the product. Okay, macam tadi lah, you punya focus group is children. Okay, so methodology by products is for children, is relate for children. Apprentice, the system watch the actions taken by the designer and ask question when it does not understand an action. Dia ada apprentice ni macam pioneer kan, the first design, and then others designer will use as a reference lah. Kalau dia tak faham, dia akan tanya, something like that lah. Automatic generations, design rationale are generated from an execute history. Design is automation lah, automate. Historian is based on person or computer program keep track of all action during the design process. This method is similar to apprentice, except the system does not make suggestion. Kalau apprentice ni dia ada suggestion kan, dia boleh katalah to extend it, to improve it. Rather than historian is based on the previous one. Okay, so this is design rational example. The design principle provide the required hardware and software to enable teachers to most effectively engage students in learning. So plan dia ialah we will provide required computer stations with the relevant software and hardware to run the program required. So what we learn, many of the staff will need supported, will require training on the new program as well as continued support as they master the program. Okay, so this is kind of analysis lah. to make a justification why you do like that, something like that. Design rational kan for justification. Okay, so what principle you use, what your plan, and what you learn, something like that. This one is the design rational for design. This is one of the example that we want to design word, contohlah kan. So we want to improve the layout of word processing. Okay, so you might have a print screen of this one. Okay, you discuss among your team member. So how we can improve this design? What do you think have an issues of this design? For example, you ask your team. So some of you might think that I found that I couldn't understand the symbol used in a few things here. So that's the issues. I think that I need to have a better arrangement on this menu. That's another reason. So to find this problem and then to get a solution from the problem. All right, done. Okay. Wow, yeah, I need about 1.5 jam juga untuk elaborate kan. All right, so I hope you understand, okay, what is the user requirement. Okay, so we have, let me summary again. Okay, let me make a summarization from what we learned in this topic. Okay, so user requirement is to get what your users need. So to do that, you have a method to do a requirement gathering. We have 6 methods here: observation, ethnography, interview, focus group, question, and task analysis, right? Okay, and every method have pro and cons, right? Then in design rational, okay, you have what kind of aspect to do a design rational in a term of verification, evaluation, maintenance, reuse, teaching, communications, assistant, and documentations. Okay, and last part, the method. Okay, how we want to capture rational. So we can do reconstruction, methodology by product, apprentice, automations, and finally historian. So we have the method for gathering informations, and then the design rational. Actually, it's 2 part only lah, but design yeah, it's only about method to get the requirement and rational of the design. That's the 2 things, the main 2 things lah. But actually, the focus is the user requirement, the 6 method just now. That's much more important. Rational ni untuk bagi justification. Maksud dia macam tu. Alright? Boleh? Alright, let's do a quiz first. Okay, I give you 5 minutes to do a quiz first. Let me get the link first. If you focus on what I just explained just now, I believe that you can answer the easy of these 2 questions. Sub-sub-soi je kan, senanglah maksud dia. Okay, check in the chat box the link for the quiz. Okay. Now it's 11:40. We stop with 11:45. Okay, one response already received. Waiting for how many attend to the class. We have 28 minus me, 2 devices, 26. Anyone that use 2 device? Okay, no. So I should get 26 responses. Okay, I already received 7 response so far. Okay, it's already 11:45. Okay, let me give you last 1 minute. All right, already 25 response. All right, anyone else have not done yet? Actually, looking at the participants, I should get 26, right? But anyone else have not done? If okay, done. Already 26 response. All right, let me stop first and let us check the answer. Okay, 26. We have 15 get both correct answer, 2 point. 4, 1 point, and 7 both wrong answer. Okay, never mind. Let's check the answer. Allow, okay, or what kind of method allow the designer to understand consumer, including how they act, how they what they want, and what their attitude, perceptions, and behavior are. So looking at the detail of the analysis of the users is for ethnography. Question number 2, all of these design rational aspect accept design analysis, right? Okay, most of you get a correct answer. Verify ada, evaluation ada, communication ada, not a analysis. Actually, okay, let me correct it. Actually, the answer is only one, design analysis, but I might forgot to untick this one. Okay, so the answer is design analysis lah. Done. All right. So for this, reduce who get one answer because of the last question just now. All right, done. Okay, so looking at the response, most of you get something from it. You can understand, right? Okay, I have two things to discuss before we end of today's class. Okay, we have a few more minutes. Okay, let me explain about the two tasks, which is in group project and group assignment, right? Okay, let me share you the slide. Okay. After this, what you see the detail of the project and also the assignment you will download from YouFuture. Okay. Okay. Because of this size. Because when I make it full screen, I couldn't click the link. Okay. So let's discuss about the project. This is a group project. In your group project, what you need to do. Okay. All right. So learn how to design products people will love. Okay. So this is based on emotions lah. We love for belonging, value, trust, guilt, or fear. Okay. Putting some emotion into your design. Use wheels or this what you need to do for your project. So the topic, the theme, okay, for your project is Malaysian Sign Language. Okay, tahu kan Malaysian Sign Language? Okay, so you can make it a game like this one, okay, and you can read the detail of the paper lah, or you can make it as a learning apps. Okay, so further info is using this link. You need to Google search. Other learning apps like this one, alphabetical number. So the info, you in a group now in a group, kita punya group 5 to 6, right? So I will change it 5 to 6, but this one is not necessary. It's based on our group lah. Each group need to develop one applications, either desktop or mobile apps that is related to the theme, the topic just now, Malaysian Sign Language. Okay, so you have you can do anything, but the theme is Malaysian Sign Language. So the option that you can do games, apps learning, and anything. If you think of other than these two lah, maksudnya. Perform evaluation, which is the usability test with the end user. This one is later on. Analysis the evaluation, prepare poster. This is what should inside the project detail. Poster, flyers, okay, untuk booth, we don't need to have a booth, we only have a class presentation. The booth presentation will be held at the end of the semester with internet excellence. Okay, for this one also, I don't think we will do external judge. Okay, it's in the class. Okay, either physical or online presentations only. That will be decided later on. All right. Okay, so you can read further. Soft copy of the application and also the report, meaning that you need to have a prototype. Okay, that's all. So again, you need to come up with the proposal first. Okay, the theme is Malaysian Sign Language. Okay, so every group only one slide or one page. Okay, do a proposal. Okay, normally the proposal, what I need is the problem that you want to solve. Okay, which is looking at the Malaysian Sign Language, cari apa masalah. Kalau you nak fokus on the game, cari game Malaysian Sign Language, looking at the problem on the current games. If you are looking on the apps learning, okay, find the problem. Okay, first problem. Of course, your slide, you can have a few slide lah. Slide better lah, senang nak tengok kan. Title of your proposed project, and then second slide and your team member. Second slide is the problem. Third slide is the objective, which is the solution from the problem, and the last one is your target user. Your target user, your users, and also your planning for method gathering requirement. That's all. So about 4 slide, right? The first slide, title and the team member, problem, objective, and lastly is your target users with a method for gathering user requirement. 4 slide. Okay, that's for project. You have another one assignment, which is to review mobile and web applications, which is consists of 10%. This is also in the group. So find 5 different mobile apps or web apps. Okay, you know the difference between mobile apps dengan web. Mobile apps ni you can install kan application. Web apps ni you can open in any browser. Okay, you punya ni lah any browser in as long as you have internet and also browser. Apps specifically developed for any particular purpose, anything. Okay, and make a review of each of them. Your task is to review why each of the tasks are good and bad. Of course, each development have a good and bad design, right? Okay. Your example should be specific. Keep in mind, it is very hard to find an app that is completely good or completely bad. They usually have both, as no apps are perfect. Ada je kan yang kekurangan. For each app, focus on a particular features or aspect of its user interface that make you your case. What is good, what is bad? Please provide concrete reason for your judgment. The concrete reason for your judgment is supposedly refer your topic that what you have learned. Okay, it's a topic 1 and 2 lah kan. Assignment deliverable. Okay, 5 minutes group presentation. Okay, this one you can do a recording group presentations. Choose 3. Just now you have 5 review, right? From the 5 review, choose only 3 apps, highlight their good and bad, complete with justifications. Your presentation should include this one. The first part you can make it in a table form. You buat dalam bentuk table form. Ada 5 different mobile apps and webs. Okay. After that, from 5, choose 3. Okay, choose 3. These 3 you need to elaborate more, which is you need to have the detail of descriptions of the apps, the 3 good design and 3 poor design for each lah. And then your report format. Okay, not more than 15 pages. You can minimum have 3 to 5, normally 5 lah minimum kan, but 3 for me is 3, maximum 15. Okay, you have a few part here. Okay, the first part is introduction, where you need to have the overview of mobile apps or web apps in current situation now, followed by problem or issues related with that will be provided the suggestion, solution or improvement in this paper letter. Okay, cari problem dia dengan isu. Second part is your related works, okay, which you review the mobile apps or web apps that been selected in industry or in research. Okay, so the description of the app, okay, and then review from previous studies on the good and bad of the user interface, included the guideline use, the principle use, framework, and so on. And then the third part, the methodology. Okay, when you do a review, what kind of review that you use? Okay, this one you can refer to any paper that might have a systematic literature review, comparative analysis, metrics, longitude, or any other technique that you can adapt or adopt. So the difference between adapt and adopt is, adapt ni you modify. Contohlah review tu ialah untuk review benda lain, website contohlah. Tapi you buat review untuk apps. So you can adapt. Adapt ni you ada sedikit modification. Adopt, totally ambil dan apply. Tu beza adapt dengan adopt. Maksudnya you ambil method tu memang dia buat sama. Dia buat review untuk apps juga. So ambil, gunakan saja. Tak ada ubah apa-apa. Okay. So the fourth part is result. Okay, after you do a review, of course you get the finding. So describe aspect you find good and bad in the user interface design. This one you can relate with what you have learned and also the paper that you find about the good and bad user interface design. Number 5, part 5, discussion. Explain why it is good and bad by making review to your opinion and provide concrete reason for your judgment with support fact from previous study. Kalau you kata bad because of A, so you kena cari paper yang kata A pun memang good. Macam tu maksud dia, support fact. Last part is the conclusion part. Okay, making suggestion on how the apps can further improve. Okay, and then you have reference, any paper that you use to do a reference. Right? That's the format. Okay. So I will show you a few examples on how to do that. If you have a further question, you can ask me in the WhatsApp group later on, your WhatsApp group lah. Okay. So this is, I give you 3 examples to do kind of similar is with what you have you will do. Okay, this the first title, usability of mobile apps, literature review and rationale for a new usability model, something like that. So you need to come up with your own title. Okay. And then, okay, you can put your member's name here and University of UiTM lah. Okay, so you don't have to do abstract, directly jump into introduction. So you can read through how they write the introduction. Okay, so the guideline is provided in your guideline PDF just now. This is to give you some example how to write an introduction. Okay, so remember when you write it, you have reference, right? Where you do cite someone works. So please put it as like this one. Okay, if you cite people's in your text, in your paragraph, okay, you will do like this one. So the name is the last name, like my name Aslina Baharom. So take the last name Baharom and year. Ni ialah years of paper published. Okay, if only one name like me Baharom 2020 enough. If you have 2 author like this one, both last name, Jetkov and Graham. If you have more than 2 names, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and above, just put first name, not the first name, last name for first author and then use at all. Let me check if there is example for this one. So remember all reference that you get, you put citation. So how to do citation? You can refer on this lah. Nanti dia akan tunjuk. Dia refer kepada this text. It's not from you. So normally It's not from you when you define something, right? Kalau from you, you don't have to do a citation. But from others, you take from others, you modify the text, so you need to have a citation. Let me see if there is a at all citation. Letak. Okay, dia tak buat 3, dia buat macam ni. You don't have, if more than 2 je, terus saja ambil first name, float, at all, et, et, lepas tu space, dot al, et, sorry, flood, flood, lepas tu et, dot al, and then bracket dia punya years. So if you can see, there is a 2 type of do a citation. Just now, the name is outside from the bracket. This one is inside the bracket. So the differentiate between this citation is just now you mention the author in the text according to who Ali and all mention. You define the content of their punya research. But if you did not mention them, but you take the content from them, that's why you need to put bracket like this one. All right, understand? So I will I will provide these 3 examples that you can refer in. This is the second paper, a review and analysis on mobile application development process using agile methodology. And last one is comparison of website and mobile applications for e-learning. So you can create your own title where like this one, you purposely focusing on what kind of apps or system that you want to do. You can choose a method that you want to do a review, or else you can just generalize it. All right, any question? So I will provide you example, the guideline just now, okay, for assignment, this one for assignment task, assignment assessment 1, okay, 10%. And the project, okay, I will put also the guide, but you need to have proposal. The proposal is the 4 pages that I mentioned, and submit in future. You don't have to present yet, okay? So the due date, okay, I plan to get approval for your proposal before you start after your semester break. So can I put the date in 29? So after that, in a week after you start, you can continue with the project, because I hope that everyone already get approval of the topic, so you can proceed with your project. For task test 1, same, 29 also is the due, okay? But okay, if I get a feedback, I pass back to you, you want to improve, you can improve it after a week after you punya balik daripada semester tu. If you want to get better grade lah, kalau you tak nak buat improvement, that's it lah, that's your marks for 10%. Alright, it's already 12:03. 12 past 3. Anyone have a question? Ada soalan? Let me check if you have any questions. Tak ada, semua boleh faham? Ke dah dalam mood raya dah tak boleh nak tanya soalan. Okay, I know that might be tomorrow or Saturday is our Hari Raya celebration, right? Selamat Hari Raya. Okay, so before, okay, kalau tak ada soalan, okay, I think that's all for today. But before we end of today's session, I would like to share Duit Raya with everyone here. Okay, so let me share the link to you to get, because this is using touch and go a random Duit Raya. I believe that some of you might seen like this one also. Okay, wait, let me share the link, and you can, I will share in this chat. So those yang attend today only can access the link lah. Wait, let me get the link first. So it was randomly amount. Wait a minute. Let me check. Right. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Actually, just now I already opened it. I close. Yeah. Hilang pula. Dekat mana? Saya pun dah lupa lah pula. Tadi saya boleh nampak je. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I found the link. Right. So, I share the link with you guys here. Link copied and okay. So try your luck. Okay, how much duit raya you get from this one? Not extra. Okay. All right. So try if you can get access with the link. Because this is my first time also using this duit raya punya what we call it money packet, okay. So I open for 20%. Oh, we have 23 here, right? So but my list have 30 because actually our class have 38, right? But today attend only a few. Okay, never mind. Okay, because it's already start. So actually I'm not sure that you can access 2 times because I open for 30%. 30%. Okay. Boleh tak? Boleh access? Let me check. Anyone already get the duit raya? Let me check first before we end of today class. Ada dapat? Dapat berapa? Muhammad apa ini? Dapat 10%. Okay, saya pun tak tahu sebab dia randomly give that amount lah. Saya kata what I need is to give how many percent that I need to give and also what is the amount given. Actually the total amount is 50 ringgit tau. So dia randomly bagilah. Okay, ada yang dapat RM1.65, ada yang dapat RM4.19. This is AI lah, AI. They divide the amount daripada RM50 tu dia divide. Can we try 2 times? Boleh ke? Or maybe you use different device code. I'm not sure because I open for 30% because now we only have 21 here, right? So I'm not sure that if you can access 2 times. I think different devices. Siapa dapat 50 speed. Alright, with that, selamat Hari Raya. I wish you enjoy with your holiday. And happy holiday, happy Selamat Hari Raya everyone. Bye.
Hari Raya, Doktor.
Selamat Hari Raya.